Earlier on in the videos you have seen that the money is in the list, which means that the money is in your email list. So you need a lot of email subscribers. But then the question is, obviously, how do you get those subscribers? And that is where opt-in forms come in. And there are many ways to put them on your website and many ways how you can gather those emails. But for me, if you're using WordPress, there's only one viable solution, and that is what I'm going to show you today. It is called Thrive Leads, and let me show you how this works. And my name is Olaf and I am your tool finder. So, why did I need this tool? Well, obviously, if you want to monetize your email list, first thing you would need is email subscribers. Makes sense, right? And since I am using WordPress, I wanted a well-developed plugin that I could use to get my email subscribers on my lists. And what I've seen before is that a lot of people are using very annoying, obtrusive opt-ins, and this I don't want. So I wanted a tool so you can choose non-obtrusive opt-ins and opt-in forms for your web pages and posts. So this is when I stumbled upon Thrive Leads, because it ticked all the boxes that I was looking for. But then again, I have compared a couple of these opt-in form builders, and well, also in the end, Thrive Leads is still my favorite. It's not perfect, but okay, tell me any tool that is, but it ticks a lot of the important boxes when it comes to the options and the layout. So why is it so important to have this email list? Well, I've told you about this earlier, but now I want to show you a quick video of Thrive Leads themselves, in which they explain it even better, so you can understand why you need a list and why you need a good opt-in.
In this video, you'll discover how you can build your mailing list faster than ever before and get traffic on tap, and why building your list is the most valuable and profitable leverage point in your online business. Here are two well-known facts about marketing. 1. On average, 50 to 80% of new visitors to a website will leave and never return. And 2, it takes an average of 7 exposures or interactions before a purchase decision is finally made. Taken together, these two facts don't paint a pretty picture. On the one hand, it's crucial to get repeat interactions with visitors, but on the other hand, most of them never return for a second visit, let alone a 7th one. This is why building a mailing list is not just optional, it's essential, especially if your business falls into one of these 3 categories. You sell something on your website, either yourself or as an affiliate, your business model relies on getting traffic, or you have more than one product to sell, either yourself or as an affiliate. In short, for most businesses, a mailing list is by far the most powerful source of profit because it is the key to repeat visitors and relationship building. And that is why we created Thrive Leads. Thrive Leads is a WordPress plugin that turns your website into a lead generation machine, so you can benefit from the power of a mailing list. But Thrive Leads is not just about building your mailing list. It's about building your mailing list faster, and that is an important distinction. There are already many ways to start collecting email addresses, but knowing the facts and realizing just how important your mailing list is, you'll agree that just adding a few sign-up forms to your site and calling it a day would be incredibly wasteful. This is why we build Thrive Leads, to incorporate the best and most powerful conversion optimization and list building strategies all in one plugin. And here are some of the highlights. With Thrive Leads, you finally get one single plugin to cover all of your list building needs. You can use it to create pop-up light boxes, use it to create slide-in forms that slide in from the edge of the screen, or use it to insert forms anywhere inside your content or at the bottom of your posts. Use it to insert forms in any widget area on your site, such as a sidebar. You can also create 2-step opt-in links that open the lightbox on click, and you can add ribbon forms to your site. Simply choose from dozens of professionally designed and conversion optimized templates and use our intuitive visual editor to change the text, add your own images, choose custom colors, and edit anything to your heart's content. Thrive Leads forms are compatible with all major autoresponder services and even support advanced lead generation with multiple fields, checkboxes, radio buttons, and drop-down menus. But Thrive Leads doesn't just give you all these options, it also gives you a convenient way to use them to your full advantage. Remember, it's about building your list faster. And that is why 𝗧𝗏 comes with the most powerful A/B testing engine ever to be included in a WordPress plugin. Once you've created an opt-in form, you can instantly create a duplicate of it with just one click. Then make a few changes to the text or design of the form using the visual editor. You can easily create one or several variations of your opt-in form in just a few minutes and then test them against each other to find the one that leads to the highest conversion rate. You can even set 𝗧𝗏 to automatically eliminate the losing variations and display only the highest converting variation once enough data has been gathered. You just start the test and the plugin will handle the rest. No further input required. But it doesn't end there. Testing different designs is just scratching the surface of the 𝗧𝗏's conversion features. You can just as easily test different opt-in triggers against each other and customize exactly when and how your form should appear. For example, do you want to show a pop-up after 10 seconds, which would be a time-based trigger, or once a visitor scrolls 50% down the page, which would be a scroll depth trigger? Or should you use the exit intent trigger, which detects when someone's about to leave your site and then opens the pop-up? Also, should the form appear instantly or should it animate into view? With 𝗧𝗏, you can test these and other triggers against each other to further boost your conversion rate. You can even test entirely different opt-in form types against each other, something that used to be technically difficult and costly. For example, test a pop-up lightbox against a slide-in form, or test a sidebar widget against a ribbon, or any other type of form you can think of. With 𝗧𝗏, you can also take testing to the next level and test entirely different offers against each other. You can connect different test variations to different mailing lists and different follow-up sequences to find out which ones yield the best results for your business. The bottom line is, 𝗧𝗏 gives you testing capabilities far beyond any other opt-in software, and A/B testing is the fastest way to double or triple your conversion rates and accelerate your list growth. And the conversion features don't end there. One of the most powerful ways to get higher conversion rates is to make your offers more relevant. And 𝗧𝗏 includes smart targeting features to implement this strategy. With 𝗧𝗏, you can easily create a catch-all offer that shows across your entire website. But you can also create specific designs and specific opt-in forms to show based on advanced targeting rules, including targeting by categories, tags, post formats, and more. With the targeting options, you can create highly relevant offers to show to exactly the right segments of your audience at the right time, and you can use this feature to create hyper-targeted and extremely profitable lists. This is a technique that marketing pros have been using for a long time, and with 𝗧𝗏, you can finally benefit from it as well without needing any coding skills or extremely expensive subscription services. And of course, everything you create with 𝗧𝗏 is fully mobile responsive and looks great on any device and screen size. You'll also be able to keep track of exactly how your forms are performing using our extensive reports and stats. And in addition, we've got you covered with an outstanding support team and a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can start using 𝗧𝗏 without any risk on your part. What it all comes down to is this. A mailing list is simply the most valuable asset you can create for your online business. Nothing gives you on-demand traffic and access to repeat customers like a list of email subscribers. And 𝗧𝗏 is simply the best, most powerful way to turn your WordPress website into a highly effective list building machine. So take this opportunity to get your copy of 𝗧𝗏 and start growing your mailing list faster than ever before.
Well, I hope you like this. It's very informative, at least that's my opinion. And I think if you have watched this very carefully, then you will agree with me that you should start building your email list as of today if you haven't started yet. So what is 𝗧𝗏? Well, it's a so-called opt-in form builder, and this will help you build opt-in forms in an easy way within your WordPress environment. And it will connect seamlessly with your autoresponder, because if you collect your email addresses, you still need to send emails to those people, right? And that's where autoresponders come in. And I've talked about this in other videos earlier, but it's actually a combination that you really need. They cannot do without each other. I mean, if you have emails collected, you need to put them in an email system. Otherwise it wouldn't work, now would it? So it's very easy to connect 𝗧𝗏 to an autoresponder, actually every autoresponder that's on the market. And this I will show to you in just a second. If we take a look at the features, then you can see that one of the most important things, at least the one that triggered me to start with 𝗧𝗏, is the use of a lot of different forms. And you can see a whole array here. And for me, a couple of non-obtrusive ones are very interesting as well. For example, the sticky ribbon, which is just a ribbon on top of the page, which also works very well on mobile because obviously you don't have a lot of space there. And the slide in, for example, for people that are, let's say, 50 to 70% down on your page, then you can trigger this opt-in to appear. And we have all these other options that I will show to you in just a second what these are. Also, 𝗏𝗏leads has a built-in extensive A/B testing facility, which means you can compare different opt-in forms and how they perform against each other. So you could have a slide in versus a lightbox, for example, and just have the system decide which one performs better. And usually A/B testing is nothing more than a different headline or a different color or different buttons. But in this case, with 𝗏𝗏leads, you can actually compare totally different opt-in forms against each other on the same website, which is a very powerful feature indeed. They have beautiful built-in templates, which is very important if you start from scratch and you're not a designer or you're not into opt-in forms at all. You just pick one of the well-designed templates they have built in. Another great feature is smart links, and this you can use to send your existing customers to different web pages than your non-customers. So if you are a lead and you're not a customer yet, you will see an opt-in, you will see an offer, you will see, well, things that you will decide for yourself what you would put on the page. But if you are an existing customer, you can 𝗏𝗏leads have create a specific smart link, and if you use that link, your WordPress website would, or page in this case, would look different. So instead of an opt-in, which you don't need because you're already a customer, you could have an upsell or a cross-sell, where you could hide the content that you would show to new people. So with smart links, you can just decide what you show to whom, which is a great option actually. And another very smart tool, the name says it all, is Smart Exit and Smart Exit Plus. To start with the latter, Smart Exit Plus means you can, for example, if you set a timer on your opt-in and you want it to appear after 20 seconds, but somebody decides to leave your site earlier, then they will see this exit intent pop-up to keep them and maybe trigger them to enroll on your email list. And Smart Exit is what 𝗏𝗏leads has developed for mobile phones. So in that case, you can set a normal exit intent trigger for desktops, but if they are on a mobile, they will see this pop up, for example, after 40 seconds. So in that case, normally on a mobile you would lose them, but in this case you would still grab a big percentage of them. And obviously on a mobile phone you don't have a mouse, so a normal exit intent is difficult to track, and that's why 𝗏𝗏leads has built this feature, which works very nice. Another great feature is advanced targeting, which means you can specify where your opt-ins should appear within your WordPress website. For example, everywhere, just on the home page, specific pages, categories, pages with tags. You can exclude pages, so you can very nitty-gritty decide where your opt-ins should appear or where not. And they also come with advanced display settings, so you can set time triggers, scroll triggers, click triggers, all kinds of triggers, also to maximize the opt-in conversion rate. And last but not least, they also provide mobile specific forms that look better and perform better on mobile phones and mobile devices. The tool itself is very intuitive and user-friendly, and you can do everything from within the plugin. But with all the software tools, actually, it takes a little bit of getting used to know where to find what, which I will show you in the tutorial that is coming in a second. The most important benefit is that it is optimized for conversion. So whatever they have built as features are all geared towards getting the best conversion possible. For example, the Smart Exit, the Smart Exit Plus, Smart Links, the advanced display settings, the advanced targeting that I just talked about, are all with this in mind. So having the best conversions possible. And also their designs and their templates, they play a huge role in optimizing conversions. Since it's WordPress, you should be careful that it doesn't slow down your website, which obviously and luckily it doesn't. And you can have relevant offers only to specific audiences. So the advanced targeting and advanced displaying that I talked about earlier, you can use to offer relevant stuff only to the customer or visitor at hand. They offer actionable reporting and insights, so not only for A/B testing but also in general, your conversion rates, etc. You can just dive in and you can act upon them. And they are cheap compared to subscriptions. For example, if you would use Opt-in Monster, which is a big competitor of Thrive Leads, you would pay many times as much because you pay for it every month. And with Thrive Leads, you only pay once and you're done. So if we talk about the different types that you can choose from, for example, we have the pop-up lightbox, which is, well, self-explanatory. As you can see, you have a website and it just pops up. Second is the sticky ribbon, which is on the top of the page. You have this opt-in ribbon, and if you scroll, it will stick to the top, which is, in my case, one of the best. It's not obtrusive. It's always in the viewport, so people will still see it every time. And if you make this an interesting offer, then it would convert very well. Then, of course, the inline forms, which means it just will fit into the content of your page, just as content, so to speak. We have the two-step opt-in, which means there's a button to opt in, and if you click on it, the pop-up will appear, as you can see on this page. We have the widget, which is, for example, for your sidebar, left or right. You can use this as an opt-in widget. We have the screen filler overlay, which just captures your whole page, and you can do nothing else, either close it or opt in. We have the so-called content lock, which means you have to enter your email, otherwise you won't see the content. We have the scroll mat, so if you are on a page and this gets triggered, it will just scroll down and capture your whole page, as you can see in this demo. And we have the, let's say, yes, no, multiple choice opt-in, which is like a mini survey, and if you answer it, you will get a result and, for example, a download. If we take a look at the reviews, you can see here that they range from 4-star to 4.8, and whatever you are going to see on the internet will end up somewhere between those figures. It's a very well thought out plugin, and of course there are always some things that can be done better. But in my case, I've tested a couple of opt-in form builders for WordPress. I like Thrive Leads the most, especially because it gets the best results. And by best results, I mean the conversions, the automatic A/B testing, I might add, is a great benefit compared to the other ones. And that for a lot less money than you would spend on most of the competitors. But as usual, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so let's go to the tool. So here we are in the Thrive Leads dashboard. As you can see, lately I have not done anything with the opt-in forms on this website. I just use this to show you how it works. And what you then see is today's summary, a couple of statistics, and then the stuff where it gets interesting. So the lead groups. In this case, a lead group is something that you gather your let's say campaign around. So if your campaign would be around SEO tips in my case, then you would gather those email addresses to send your emails concerning SEO tips, obviously. So if you would say add new, it's also what they say here, give your lead group a name. Usually your lead group would be named after the promotion that you're running, for instance, weight loss report. So if you're running different promotions, you can choose different lead groups, and within the lead groups you can choose different opt-in forms. So these are all opt-in forms that you can have shown on your website according to the display settings and the trigger settings, but you could also have an opt-in form that you could put anywhere on your site using the shortcode. So in this case I have a page where the two that I already have, the lightbox and the ribbon and the shortcode, are being displayed. And if you want to know when you're in the dashboard, oh, what was the lightbox again, you just click the video arrow and you see, oh yeah, that was the lightbox. And the ribbon was, oh yeah, right, it was on the top of the page. So we have them set to display on desktop as well, and they should all three be displayed. So let's go to the page, and what we'll see then is, first of all, you see the lightbox with the headline and some description and the capturing of the email name, and then the button to send them whatever you're going to send. And at the top you will see the ribbon, and when we scroll down we will have over here, I can close this as well, we have the inline version according to the shortcode. So this is displaying nicely and this works just fine. So let us see what we can do. So for example, if we have this lead group SEO tips and we have this lightbox already activated, I would like to change some things. So I will go to edit, and within the edit lightbox you can change the name. So I could say, well, lightbox pop-up or something, and I could change the trigger. So in this case, it, as you have seen just now, it displays immediately on page load, and it displays all the time, and it bounces down, as you could maybe see. So we could change this, all kinds of different triggers, show on page load, period of time, a specific part of the content, percentage of the way. For example, I want it to show when they're almost on the bottom of the page, and I can turn on or off the Smart Exit Plus. I described this to you earlier in the PowerPoint, and well, so if they leave the site before they arrived at 75%, you can show them the pop-up still. And the frequency would be, how much time would it take before the same visitor will see the same form again. So when they click it away by using the cross, you can say, well, I want them to not see this for another 7 days, or maybe 30 days, or maybe 100 days, whatever you want. You can just drag it like that. But don't be afraid to set it to 3 days or something. I mean, you don't want to annoy your visitors, but you shouldn't be too shy as well. And the animation, you can change this to zoom in, zoom out, and you can immediately see what this means. So you can change this, all kinds of options, as you can see. But for now, we just leave it as it is, and we go to edit the design. And as you can see, this is just the lightbox that we just showed you live on the page. And if we want, we can change this. So for example, you could swap this image around, change the size, change the height, change everything about it. Obviously, you can change the text in whatever you like. So for example, a different color or a different font. And even this description you can change easily by either the left hand side or here at the top, where you can change this like so. This is the important lead generation field, as you can see here in the breadcrumbs, and these are connected to the autoresponder, as I told you about earlier. And as you can see here, this will send leads to ActiveCampaign in my case. So I have connected the fields to my ActiveCampaign, fields that are called name and email, and whenever somebody enters this, you can just send those immediately, or they will be sent immediately over to ActiveCampaign, my email autoresponder. And after success submission, you can show the success notification, but you could also redirect them to a custom URL where they can download your book, for example, or you can switch the state of this lightbox where they can directly download the guide without even leaving the page, which is also a nice feature. Also, for example, backgrounds can be changed. In this case, there is no background, and I could choose to have this like yellow or black or green or whatever you want. But I will cancel it for now because it's clear like it is. It's to my liking. And like this, you can just build up your whole form. If I go to the lead generation area and I would like to change this, then I should actually go to edit form elements, because these are the ones that are connected to my autoresponder, so it works a little bit differently than the other options. And if I want, I could change, for example, the color of this button as well, and obviously also the text. And when I'm done, I just click done. And what is very nice is that you could also choose not to send the subscribers to a different URL or to go to some success page, but to change the state that they are in. So for example, this would be state number 1. I don't like this actually, but we could also add a new state. And like this, we could say, for example, I'll delete this. I could say, thank you for subscribing, and then get your guide at the following . And I will obviously delete this. And here I can just add something new, for example, an image. I will drag myself over there. And I could do something else, for example, like this. Doesn't make any sense, but it's just to give you an idea. All right. And now, when we go back, I'm going to load it again. So let's save this. And then go back to the default state. So what happens now is, for example, if you want to change what happens after somebody entered his name and or email address, you could say, okay, I want to switch to the state, which would be state number 2. Let me just check to be sure. Yes. So I should have given this a more clear name, obviously. All right. So now if you would preview this, you would say, all right, like this, yes, send me the guide. And then you would see this thank you and the URL. All right, so that works brilliantly. So depending on what you want, you can send them to something different. So in this case, I used the switch state, but I could also redirect them to a custom URL where they can download their guide, or just show a success notification and tell them to look in their email, for example, where they will find their guide. So these are all different options. All right, so let's go back to the beginning where we have the different types. I just showed you now what I can do with the, where shall I put myself over there? With the lightbox, and at the top we have the ribbon, and we could also add a new type of opt-in form just to show you how easy it is to build something new. So I would like to build the scroll mat, and here it gives you a pointer that you should add a form. So let's do this. I will create a form. We'll call it a scroll mat SEO tips, for example. And you can see here that you can state the display frequency all the time. So let's do this, because then we can easily check what is happening to it. And I will click on the button to edit this form. So here we are. I want to choose this template that is called the scroll mat without any questions. I will just choose this, and as you can see, it will pre-populate this template for me. I want to change this obviously into something more suitable for my business. I will just enter this like so. And this color I would like to change to, for example, green. This nope. Forgotten how to type. Just some compelling text. This one I will delete, and this one I will just let's see, what shall we do? Like so. And I will just change this font a little bit to fit on the screen, like this. And I think this should be changed a little bit, so I can change the layout and the position to center. But this should be a lot bigger, and maybe in another color as well. So let me see. Apply. Well, that doesn't work, as you can see. So just keep it white and a little bit smaller because it doesn't fit. And I could also, that wasn't exactly my intention, but let's see below. This I will delete. like so. This I would like to make a little bit bigger, like this. And I see that this image is a little bit faded, so I want to change this image effects. Alright. And we can have a preview of what this would look like if it's finished. Alright, well, it's not totally 100% perfect, but you can see where this is going. So let's change this a little bit to a little bit smaller. I could also change this, but I will change it the other way around, so I can increase these. Yep. And for now, let's leave it at this, and we can see a preview on the page. All right. So we should obviously change this into a better button and a better color, but you get the idea, right? How this would work. In the Thrive Leads editor, you can immediately check how this would look on mobile, and as you can see, you should fix this. And for the rest, you should also fix the mobile font size, because this just isn't exactly right. But for desktop, it's pretty nice already. So I'm going to save it and exit. Well, let's go back to Thrive Leads. And what we should do now is have this opt-in form appear, obviously, because we made it, but it's not yet visible. So I will disable the lightbox and the ribbon. I will edit the scroll mat to show all the time, which is okay. So that is good. And now I would go to the so-called display settings, which are this cog to the right. And these display settings are valid for all your opt-in forms that are within this lead group, as you can see. So to change the display settings, I would go to the cog. And here you can actually say where these opt-in forms should appear. And as you can see, I could, for example, choose front page, all posts, all pages. Well, you can see what is possible here. You can have them confined to only show in different categories. For example, when it's regarding ClickFunnels or Instagram or other things. Different posts there on my website, which aren't any, and the pages. So this time I chose only to show them on the 𝗵𝗏 image page that I will show you just shortly. And you could also say I don't want them to show on certain other pages. For example, in my case, there were 2 different pages that are used for something else, and I don't want these opt-ins to show. So you could also, as you can see, save this as a template to reuse for other opt-ins. I will save and close this. And now we could see this if we would load this page, then the scroll mat would appear. Well, not really. I obviously forgot to change the switch yes to set it to enabled. And let's try it again. Well, there you are. So this is what happens when you choose the scroll mat, and then you can just click down and you will see the rest of the page. And the inline is still there. But this looks pretty nice. It will capture your whole screen, as you can see. And so you would just have to click on this button, and then you would see the next screen to enter your email. If you click on it, then you can just enter your name and your email, and you have the guide sent to you. So this is how that works. Well, if you would have, for example, the ribbon and the scroll mat that we just made, and you would want to test those against each other, then you could say, all right, I would like to do an A/B test with these types. So I would click on test types of forms against each other. A/B ribbon versus scroll mat. And I choose the ribbon and the scroll mat, obviously. If I want, this is a very, very powerful feature, I could choose automatically the winner. So I will enable this and I would say, okay, I want, and let's keep the default here, a minimum of 100 conversions in 14 days and a chance to beat the original by 95%, which means it's statistically relevant that this one would perform better than the other. So if we would do this, then Thrive Leads would automatically test those two and show one and then the other 50-50%. And you never have to watch these again because it will automatically pick the winner at the end. Well, isn't that cool? And if you want, you can even have three, well, tested against each other, as you can see. And again, you can have the winner automatically picked by the system, which is extremely cool and effective. So that's it for now. I hope you like this. There are lots and lots more options in Thrive Leads that I'm not going to show you now because that is for the very advanced users, like the really, really nitty-gritty advanced targeting or the smart links option that I talked about earlier, where you can show different content to different people. But for now, I think this will give you a great idea of what Thrive Leads can do for you. I hope you liked this video and I would love to see you in the next one.